The streets of Perth came to life on Friday with both Subiaco and West Perth parading through the heart of the city ahead of today's WAFL Grand Final. Not surprisingly, there were some dry mouths and plenty of nerves as both camps contemplated the task that lay ahead of them. At Forest Place, school children in their hundreds welcomed their local heroes, while both skippers had a chance to hold the Premiership Cup. Later today, only one, of course, will be accorded that honour. Unfortunately, the weather god's not smiling on Perth for the WAFL Grand Final. We're in line today for some showers, the chance of a thunderstorm and even some hail here at Subiaco Oval, but it hasn't stopped the Hardy from turning out and supporting both the Lions and the Falcons in the climax of the 2003 season. Yes, hello and welcome to what is rapidly becoming a rain-sodden Subiaco Oval, but it is Grand Final day, so there's always that special feel in the air, despite the fact that the air at the moment is full of raindrops. Hopefully, as you can see, the rain tumbling down at the moment, hopefully it will clear. We have been told by the Weather Bureau that the worst of the rain is behind us and that the main front has already passed over the top of Perth. We've all got our fingers crossed. Well, today, both these teams with long histories looking to add to their premiership count. As we look, Subiaco, founded in 1901, you go back even 16 years earlier for the foundation of what was then the Cardinals. Subiaco's 7 premierships. Today the Falcons are looking to win their 18th, and if they do, they'll move into outright second spot behind East Fremantle. A 15-year drought for Subiaco, whilst West Perth won their last back in 1999. Surprisingly, given the longevity of these clubs, this is only their 4th meeting in a grand final. 1935, West Perth won. It was played at Perth Oval, the last time a game was ever played as a grand final away from league headquarters. Subiaco, of course, ended a 49-year drought in 1973, whilst the Falcons broke through when they last met in 1995. Already it's been a big day of football here at Subiaco Oval, and repeat grand finals, back-to-back in the Colts and the reserves. South Fremantle winning 2 in a row, a big margin over Claremont, while Subiaco's dominance of the reserves continues, although today it was a nail-biting affair, but they've now won 6 of the last 9 WAFL reserves grand finals. Have a look at the lineup that is at the disposal of the Subiaco coach Peter German today. And as I mentioned, John, the goal-to-goal line for Subiaco, a lot of experience, a lot of strength.
No, it certainly is. And when you look at it down the middle of there, Daniel Metropolis all the way through to Brad Smith, who won the Bertie Naylor medal. It's a very experienced group down there, and Webb in the middle is going to relish these conditions this afternoon. And Matty Connell and Tony Godden may very well be playing their final games of footy this afternoon.
Well, the West Perth lineup have 2 very strongly built and tall focal points, Lynch and Fuster at half forward and full forward respectively, but they could be negated by the weather today.
No, they certainly will, and they've got to make sure that they just use their strength that they do have over their opponents to their advantage, particularly Fuster over Daniel Metropolis from a couple of weeks ago. Must play in front. If he plays in front, Daniel's going to find it very difficult to get around him.
As players take up position, Brett Cousins has been through this before with West Perth. There's Mark Seavey in the foreground, Callum Chambers of the West Coast Eagles. Seavey on the Eagles list. Handshakes between Cousins and Toya. Richard Maloney, the Subi skipper, just sorting things out in the centre square. The 2003 Grand Final underway. Seavey draws first blood. Chance for Maloney, head over the football. Seavey tries to do his own roving. Maloney buried. And we're going to have a bounce on the logo heading towards the members' wing. Already a little bit of frayed temper. You'd expect that the nerves would be jingling at the start of the Grand Final. It's going to be the order of the day. The ball thrown up. Seavey wins it down. Webb couldn't gather it through the legs of Carmody. Whistle sounds and it's a free kick to the Falcons.
First of the match, Callum Chambers with it. With the breeze, West Perth will be looking to play direct football in this first quarter. The kick gets the centre half forward, almost taken by Mackay. One of the players who's come into the Subiaco lineup since the second semi-final. Maloney gets a kick out towards centre wing. West Perth with the numbers. Lacroix does well to punt the ball up towards centre half forward again. But Subiaco filling up the holes, and Daniel Metropolis has taken the saving mark. Interesting you see Glenn Ross Capes tossing the coin before the match. He actually umpired the grand final in 1973 between Subiaco and West Perth. It was a far different day than this, weather-wise. Long kick from Metropolis, it clears the pack. And that was David Sirakowski. He's had a very good season for Subiaco since coming across from Peel Thunder and rewarded by playing in the grand final this afternoon. Luke Toyer, who arrived on the ground this afternoon on a scooter, and I don't mean a motorised one. Toyer to centre half forward, Coops flew high, couldn't take the mark. Marshall recovers beautifully, gives it off now to Pickett. Pickett through traffic, does brilliantly, wobbles the ball into the pocket, and the wet turf should ensure that the ball skids over. It does, but Subiaco have got it deep into their forward line, boundary thrown at left full forward.
There's a couple of interesting matchups just in the middle. Richard Maloney with Kim Regol, Mark Webb and Brad Murray opposing each other in the midfield, and there you can see Lacroix and Sirakowski centre half back, centre half forward.
They do the ruck work. Sira wins it down. Chance here for Cossum. Well claimed by Lacroix. Gets the hand pass out. First shot on goal for the game. Sirakowski puts it through. He didn't play in the second semi because he was playing with West Coast at Football Park that week in the first round of the AFL finals. An important inclusion today, and he's got the first goal of the grand final.
The first one is always important to get. Maloney, the Subiaco skipper, actually kicked it into Dane Carmody. Now Rigol a chance. The ball worked away from his grasp. Murray. The hand pass goes astray. Again a chance for Subiaco. Pickett's been very, very busy. Could be a day tailor-made for him. Pickett drives Subiaco forward. Not a convincing kick, but Smith is in front of his opponent. Gets the hand pass now to Wooden, who'll be important today. Wooden from one step kicks Subiaco second. It's all happened in 5 minutes on a day where you'd think the scoring will be low and at a premium. Subiaco kicked 2 early goals against the breeze, and West Perth yet to open this.
Brent Reinhardt waiting to come onto the ground for West Perth. One down by Subiaco's Lucas, but a free kick given away. Murray having his jumper extended from his back, and a free kick to the Falcons, who are yet to get the ball anywhere near their attacking 50. They go roughly in that direction. Lynch with strength got rid of Ambrose, then dropped the mark. Chance here for Britain, wearing 2 jumpers today. Gets a high one inside the attacking 50. In front, Fuster. Pulled off the kick down there, the Subiaco defender. Gathered by Fuster. He grubbers it home. Brendan Fuster, mobbed by teammates.
And there's Darren Harris, rather stern-faced at the moment. This game very much in the balance in the first quarter. Long kick up towards full forward. The mark's going to be paid.
Push is paid, Phil.
Well, it's going to go the way of Troy Longmuir.
Goal. I think he's not. I thought he paid advantage.
I don't think there was any advantage there, but Longmuir is going to be paid for being held, and then
a push against Lucas.
Surely Lucas was not responsible for that. He was airborne at the time, but Longmuir, you would think, will walk in and make a certainty of West Perth second. This will actually give the Falcons the lead. They trailed after 5 minutes, 2 goals to nil. Longmuir will amble in and put them in front. They've got 2 goals, 1 West Perth. Subiaco 2 straight, 11 minutes played in the first term. Sometimes players, especially in certain conditions, have got to be given the benefit of the doubt. You'll be penalised again if you're not careful. Touches it down on this occasion. A little bit more circumspect. There wasn't a good kick looking there for Fuster. Not the right option. Sockering it off the ground there was Connell. Only as far as Duckworth, who's done well. Feeds the hand pass out in front of Logan there, but Maloney did extremely well. Still it's Fuster, however. West Perth with a long hand pass. Fuster looking out there for Reinhardt, who sockers the ball into oncoming traffic. The ball deflects over the line and out of bounds. Joel Mackay getting to his feet. Boundary thrown at right half forward flank for West Perth. Hi, Emma.
Fans seeing themselves up on the big screen. Ball to be tossed in. Lynch and Ambrose. The Sandover medalist Ambrose wins it down. Reinhardt overran the football. Maloney is always working hard on the ground. Well tackled by Britton. Ball spills loose. Lynch's hand pass of sorts. Gathered off the ground by Logan. Uses the non-preferred right boot. Plenty of carry on the breeze, deep into the pocket. And there's a free kick going the way of the Falcons. Tight angle. He's read the breeze well. West Perth get their third. Troy Longmuir, 36 goals this season, having kicked 3 last week. Leads being offered, the best of which is deemed to be Todd Curley, and Duckworth finds him. Playing on now around the members' side, overheads, chance for Connell. Hand pass away to Cossum, right on the attacking 50. Gets around to lunging Lascock. Not a bad effort towards the goal line. It's a touch. Don't think it is. Goal to Subiaco. Great play by Cossum. Duckworth did his best on the goal line, but the umpire right on the spot. The ball had carried the chalk, and we've got a 1-point ball game in the grand final. Doesn't reach through Ruckman on the throw-in. McLean, a long way from home, kicks it high inside 50. Lynch couldn't take it. Chance here for Logan, normally good on that left boot. Goes straight. The Falcons move back to a 7-point lead. Very heavy conditions underfoot. You wonder whether that will aid Subiaco late in the game, having had the week off last week. Seedy wins it down. Metropolis runs headlong into Lynch. Neutral ball. Stalemate. Will be thrown up.
Glenn, just on that point, West Perth have now made 15 interchanges to Subiaco's 8.
Perhaps West Perth mindful of the fact that their legs may tire ahead of their Lions opponents. Ball thrown up. Seeby, lovely palm. Longmuir for his third. He's got it. 3 goals last week in the prelim. 3 goals here today in the grand final. And West Perth extend their lead to an even 2 goals.
2-goal ball game. West Perth leading. Up goes Fuster. Wins a decisive knock. Taken though by Cosm. Releases a hand pass, but it's going the wrong way as far as Subi's concerned. Taken by Carmody. Gave it to Metropolis. He was dispossessed.
It's a throw. He's paid a throw against Daniel Metropolis.
The ball, I thought Doro was knocked from his grasp.
Well, I thought he actually, made some sort of attempt, although we understand the ruling is like Quinton Lynch come from behind. Oh, he did throw it. There you go. This is a very vital part of the game. If West Perth were to go away and kick a goal here over the next couple of minutes and go into half-time 3 goals in front, it's going to make life very difficult for Subiaco.
Well, Doro shielded by the 3-tier grandstand, probably the ball in the best possible hands. Lynch is a magnificent kick. He's a huge kick. What a great goal by Quinton Lynch. A big swing here in the final stages of the second quarter. West Perth moved out to a 3-goal break. They're 6-5. Subiaco's 3-5. He likewise can set some runners free on the outer side of the ground. Connell has it. Running forward of him is Ambrose, but he elects to come back into the corridor and finds Lucas. Time running out, but as I mentioned, there is time for one more. On the point of the centre square, Lucas, being instructed by Connell to go long. He does just that. Subiaco now with a chance. Gordon's taken the mark. Right on the edge of the 10-metre square. Gets to his feet. Hammers one home. And the umpire's going to make him come back and stand behind his mark. Makes no mistake. Subiaco with a very important goal. 28 minutes into this second term. It's back to a 2-goal ball game. Metropolis sends Subiaco back into attack. Sirakoski couldn't take the mark. Cousins at the front of the pack. Puts it up toward the middle of the ground. A sliding curly. Got the hand pass off to Hunt. Now Travis McLean spun into trouble. Out of it. Onto his right boot. Right from the middle of the ground. The ball tumbles end over end. Longmuir tried to get a hand pass off towards Callum Chambers. Here's a chance for Cosm, but I think you pardon for Carmody, but Chambers so skillful. Such an opportunist. Late goal to West Perth. Mackay limbering up in the interchange area. Lynch with a prodigious thump forward for West Perth, taken by Connell under pressure. He got the hand pass to Keevers, drives the ball up towards centre wing, reading it beautifully as Coop's been outstanding, delivers the ball to Travis McLean, who doesn't let him down, sliding on his backside, taking the chest mark, kicks it into the pocket, looking there for Hunt. Metropolis was sensational. Gee, had to get a fist to that Daniel Metropolis, kept his eyes on the footy, made contact and has forced the ball over the line and out of bounds.
Sliding mark there by Travis McLean. Second year in a row, he'll be West Perth's leading goal kicker. Throw in, clean possession. Lynch gives it off to McLean. Can he snap one? I think he has. That one doesn't interfere with the woodwork. Another goal to the Falcons. McLean's 58th of the season. And West Perth now in slippery conditions. A very handy 23-point break. 11 minutes into the third term.
Well, you'd be very dead set lucky if the umpires look. It's all he wanted was the boundary line.
He's really got away with something there. You'd fancy if they actually apply the law the way it's written in the rule book. Fuster clean possession, heading away from his goal. Thought about straightening up, but hand passes to Lascott. His hand pass knocked down by Pickett, who goes back and fights for it. Was he held? Yes. In fact, taken high over the right shoulder by Fuster. Advantage rule applied. Nikoski streams towards the members' wing. Now it's a foot race coming out from full forward. Toya uses the body well on Cousins. Snaps 20 metres out, drills it.
Phil, just on the interchange situation again, West Perth seem to be continuing this rotation through the middle where Subiaco don't seem to have the players to be able to do that. They've got to try to do more rotation with their rucks.
So Peter German perhaps a little hamstrung. Bradley took the ball cleanly. That could have been holding it. Marshall feeds a hand pass back to Metropolis. Rigol had a fresh air shot. Travis McLean couldn't make contact with the boot. Still a chance for West Perth. Rigol, I think, has got this one. Sheer persistence. The West Perth players celebrating one of the hardest of goals. Just a hard-working goal by Kim Rigol. Gee, that picture tells a story. Kim Rigol. Let's have a look at it in replay.
The handball, Phil, went backwards from Subiaco, which is, I would have thought, a no-no. On pretty tough conditions, you don't handball backwards. It went at Daniel Metropolis' feet. And Subiaco, unfortunately, couldn't defend the situation. West Perth did wonderfully well to keep it alive. The soccer's as good as anything because the goal umpire got his 2 flags waving.
The margin is 4 straight goals. Even the behind would be very, very important for West Perth. He gets a spiral torpedo punt to work too. It's nearly there. Just the wrong side of the post, I think. Oh, gee, has that young man got some ability? An important behind, as I say, because it really means that Subiaco, as the West Perth supporters make their feelings felt, the Lions have to score 5 times in the final term to win this match. At 3/4 time, West Perth are 9-9-63 to Subiaco's 5-8-38 the margin, 25 points for the Falcons.
One of the pluses, Subiaco will come home with the breeze, and they'll need to come home with it well. They kicked the first 2 goals of the game. They came inside the opening 5 minutes, and since then, up till 3/4 time, they've been able to add just a further 3 goals. So the pressure, the heat now on the Subiaco huddle, they're about to be addressed by their coach, Peter German. 3/4 time in the 2003 WAFL Grand Final. Troy Longmuir, 3 goals in the first half, and he remains the only multiple goal scorer in the game. A 25-point lead to the Falcons. They've been in command at every change today. They're half an hour away from securing their 18th WAFL premiership. There's the quarter by quarter. 9 points out to 16 at the half, now out to 25 with a quarter remaining.
Darren, West Perth controlled the centre bounces and the game for most of that quarter.
Oh, yeah, but we didn't really get a score on the board, Spinner, so, you know, game's still on.
You're dropping players back in a bit of a zone defence there. Are you going to do that this quarter and try and hold on to your score?
That wasn't the plan, mate. That wasn't the plan at all. We just want to stay one-on-one and finish the job we started.
What have you asked your players?
Just to keep going to the end.
Thanks, Darren.
The end of the season is around 30 minutes away. Stephen Coops took some inspirational marks across the half-back line and thwarted Subi in that 3rd term. This young man, well, he might have a medallion shortly, and he's got a future at the next level. Mark Seavey has done a great job in the ruck today. He's taken 10 marks around the ground. Can he run it right out to the finish? The last quarter of season 2003 for the WAFL. West Perth with a 25-point lead. Seavey won it down. Murray was taken high. He's got a free kick. West Perth into the breeze, get first use of the ball.
Nobody's on the mark either. Nobody wants to be on the mark.
He gains 4 or 5, make it 8 metres. Now he kicks inside 50, over the head of Lynch. Cavalry required at the back for Subiaco. Keevers, who's had a battle on his hands all day with Troy Longmuir. Intelligent left-footed kick, goes out of play.
Inexcusable not to have anybody stand the mark where young Brad Murray was able to run an extra 7 or 8 metres, and that very well could have proven diabolical had West Perth been on the end of that tumbling ball towards the goal line.
Pretty happy section of the crowd there, those West Perth supporters, as Lynch puts his fist into the footy. Stacks on the mill. The ball at the wrong end of the ground as far as Subiaco are concerned. Trailing by 25 points, and Doro, they need not only the first goal of this final quarter, they need consecutive goals.
Yeah, well, that's what I think they do need, Phil. They need to get 2 in a row and put the pressure back upon West Perth.
Lynch fisting the ball forward, chopped off in midair by Metropolis. Feeds the ball now to the run of Cossum. They need lots of runs. Subiaco, the ball wouldn't come back up off the wet turf for him. Now he's caught, maybe penalised. The umpire says yes, holding the ball against Cossum.
A great chase by Salicic.
Salicic with the free kick. Kicks his ball into the corridor. The lead came from Fuster, but Maloney, the captain, showed great courage to take the mark. Now he goes looking there for Vines. Lacra's been terrific across half-back. With him and worrying him is Sirakoski. Knocked off it there by Hunt. Now Vines gets a chance. Good change of direction there by Carmody. Goes with a long kick. Coops is getting back there again. Can't control this effort. Still, though, he's got control of the footy. Gets away there from Toya. Delivers the ball to Lacroix. Well done, Stephen Coops. Lacroix to the overlap now of Lascott. He accelerates away from the defensive 50. Fuster is there. Maloney from his knees. Metropolis has tried so hard all day. Goes along the boundary line, but just can't get the ball to Vines accurately enough.
The one thing in Subiaco's favour is that this strong wind and the drainage on this ground, the ball won't be anywhere near as slippery now. A lot of the surface water will have virtually been blown away, so it's a little bit easier, the ball handling now. It's in the hands of Maloney at the moment, and it's held to him in a tackle laid by both Murray and Rigol, and will have a ball up.
Webb is back on the ground after that heavy knock, Glenn.
It's good, he caught one in the jaw in the opening minute of the second half. Ball thrown aloft. Sierakowski from behind wins it down. Chance here for Cossum, confronted by Rigol, who slipped over. Cossum uses it well and finds Wooden. They need a lift from experienced players like Josh Wooden here, Subi. Webb's on short. He spotted him and chips it over. Logan, the man on the mark. Webb now plays on. Kicks it up towards Toya on the lead. Takes it on his chest. Well, Subi need Luke Toya to goal here. 3 minutes into this final term. He can reduce the margin to 19 points. You see here a good sliding mark, hugging it to his chest. Toya this season, 30 goals, including one in the second half. In fact, the only goal of the second half so far for Subiaco came 15 minutes into the third term. Toya, the Lions need him to score. He will, but only for a behind. Sliding it across the face to make it an even 4-goal game.
Just doesn't seem to be working that breeze, does it? Like it was a beautiful kick, very well executed, but the breeze didn't seem to do what he thought it may have.
I think you've got to get the ball up much higher before that breeze kicks in. Duckworth, she floats it out towards the right half-back flank. Carmody was there. West Perth through Rigol to Salisic. Couldn't get it to his boot. Wooden has been so important for the Lions. Across his body, the ball's been marked by Vines. Now, perhaps a little bit too far out to score. He knows that. Centering pass. Ryan has taken either the mark or a push in the back. The push has been paid. Ryan not particularly well. He earned it the hard way. Now he has to go back and steer this one through for the Lions.
Well, it was always there, wasn't it? Always going to be there, the free kick. Paul Vines, interestingly enough, like he took that mark when he did receive that one from that ruck throw in, was in the middle of 3 or 4 Subiaco players. Could very well have gone on, Phil, and played on and had a shot at goal, but let's hope his teammate can kick a goal and put some pressure back upon West Perth.
Now it's Ryan who sends it on its way. Goal to Subiaco. That's just what they needed. So the Lions still alive, kicking with this breeze. They still need to get another couple on the board to really threaten West Perth, but they have given some hope to their supporters.
Yep, they sure have, and he's come on and off the ground today, young Ryan, but you'll see here Josh Wooden it was that got around. See, Vines could have played on. He'd marked that inside, a nest of little Subiaco players, but smartly he got it into the central part of the ground where Ryan went back. Got close to the man on the mark, as a lot of them have today. They've not given himself that much room.
Ball up in the middle, one down by Lucas. Maloney went through without the footy. Murray a blind turn, grubbers it away. Chance for Carmody to the pacey Wooden. Subiaco on the surge, trailing by 3 goals, 5 minutes into the last quarter. Ryan up in front, at the back Duckworth. Bounces away. Now he's got a player, Chambers. This is one of the players Subi wouldn't want to see free on the outer wing. Chambers very fleet of foot. No one within 30 metres. Carmody trying to get there to close him down. He's stepped around though by Chambers, who's touched it down once. Goes looking for Longmuir. Third bite, paid the mark. Chance here for West Perth to get the quick reply, and Longmuir is 4th of the afternoon.
Well, you're robbed Peter to pay Paul. Like Troy Longmuir has been very, very good opposed to Ben Keevers. Neil Marshall had him in the third quarter, Glenn, and then Neil Marshall's now playing forward. Young Ben Keevers back on him. That height advantage that Longmuir has is very much evident in that marking contest.
This will really hurt the Lions. This to put the margin back to 24 points. He liked it immediately. It came off his boot. 4 goals to Troy Longmuir following his return of 3 in the preliminary final last week. And West Perth are steadier, back to a 24-point split.
Oh, what a terrific contested mark. He had a few juggles at it, mind you, but...
someone's taken an enormous risk, Doro, to leave Callum Chambers like that on the outer side of the ground.
Yeah, but it wasn't so much a risk. You'll see on screen the marking contest there, but I felt sorry for Dane Carmody because, like, what had happened, Subiaco had the football. He, as a tagger, was going forward while Subiaco had control of it. Callum Chambers didn't chase him. The ball turned over and bang, there he is, 40 metres in the clear on the other side of the ground.
Seavey wins the knock. Carmody had it and then lost it. Lucas got the hand pass to Maloney, so Subiaco going forward. They certainly won't lay down the Lions. Vines read it beautifully. Goes into the pocket. Toya may have got one high. The umpire says play on. Here's Coops. Got a shepherd there from Cousins, and Coops along the boundary line with his hand pass to Robert Hunt. Another hand pass to Lacroix. Been terrific across half-back. Short pass to Salisic. Well, didn't he judge that beautifully? Kicked it, made the mistake early, then corrected it himself. Low pass to the sliding Travis McLean. Forward of centre wing, the Falcons relentlessly going forward. High up toward full forward. Longmuir again there is the target. With him there is Mackay. Longmuir goes to the ground under the weight of the tackle. Here's a chance now for Ben Keevers. Goes for the short pass over the top of Wooden's head to Lucas, who now gives it to Josh Wooden. Plenty of run still left in his legs. Looking there for Ryan, and Ryan got one in the back. Logan doesn't like it. You don't need me to tell you that. Shane Ryan with the free kick. Uses it short and finds Lucas. Now no one within 20 metres of him, so Lucas drives the ball to the half-forward line. Marshall or Sirakowski the target. Neither could take the mark. Hunt will mop up for the Falcons. Touches it down. Goes with a long kick, an untidy one. Lynch will run into the action. Meeting it with his right boot there was Joel Mackay, but Callum Chambers always dangerous on the open spaces on centre wing. Run down. That was a good effort by Keevers. Eventually it's Lynch who kicks the ball towards the forward line. The sun breaking through. Might have put a few players off. Britton has it from outside
Logan.
50. Long to full forward. Logan's drifted back. Well, the West Perth supporters ecstatic because Brendan Logan, you would think, would not be able to miss this with all of his experience and skill.
Not be able, no, you would expect him not to, Phil. But I have seen it happen before. Kim Regal hit the post down here in a similar circumstance, but
He did.
he's a very slippery little customer, Brendan Logan. He really got way behind Josh Wooden then, and it was a beautiful kick that come in just back West Perth winning the footy, and the game will be over if he goes and kicks this.
Subiaco supporters hiding their faces. Logan comes in, makes no mistake about it. He's got his second goal on the board. Well, it's a very, very tough contract for Subiaco now. 11 goals, 9.75 to 6.9, 45. The margin, 30 points. And Glenn, I think that is the largest margin of the match.
It certainly is, and it's coming at the worst possible time for Subi. 10 minutes into the last two. See here the powerful kick by Britton, and as John mentioned, Logan has slipped around behind the defence, and it's resulted in the 11th goal and perhaps a margin now which Subiaco will find impossible to run down. Brendan Logan, 2 goals, looking for his 3rd premiership medallion. Back in the middle of the ground. Chambers sockers it forward for the Falcons. McLean meets it full-chested on the bounce. Tried to get it back by hand at Chambers, but it slipped behind him. Maloney with doggedness got it to Wooden. On in turn then towards Pap. Pap kicks it out wide. Vines tries to keep it inside the field of play and does. Webb arrives. He keeps it inside cleverly. Over the head though of Pickett. Ryan couldn't control it. Rigol to mop up in defence. Sunshine almost for the first time today breaking through. Lacroix by hand to Hunt. Hunt a drop punt high to the wing. Unable to mark at the back was Chambers. Recovers better on the ground. Well tackled by Maloney, who fights for it with Chambers on the ground. Will have a ball up. The crowd today, not a big one. The sun's shining at the moment. But the crowd, the lowest we've had since 1994, 17,775.
11 minutes into the final quarter. Fisting it away, Fuster, only as far as Maloney, threw it onto his boot. Nest of Falcons, one of them Logan, and he's taken the mark on his chest. Experience coming to the fore when it's needed. Logan's kick, centimetre perfect, goes for Lacroix. He's been brilliant. Don't tell me he's going to finish on the goal kick just as well. It's close. Touched on the line. No, a free kick. A free kick. The Subiaco defenders distraught. Longmuir is going to get his 5th goal.
It's against Joel Mackay, I think it is, Phil, down there on the goal line. I'm not really sure. Is it going to Lynch or Troy Longmuir? Mackay standing the goal, or certainly the mark anyway. Yep. So
Troy Longmuir on a rather acute angle, but
Left footer shouldn't be a problem.
At point-blank range. Longmuir comes in, kicks his 5th goal. Well, that's sealed it as far as the Falcons are concerned. High celebrations at Arena Joondalup tonight. The red and blue flags will be waving for a long, long time. We didn't quite see the push there, but it must have been against Joel Mackay.
Well, they're pushing and grappling, and Troy Longmuir slipped and fell to ground, and maybe his hands went around his neck on the way down, but I don't know necessarily that was the ultimate cause of Troy coming to grief, but the decision's made.
3 of his 5 goals directly as a result of free kicks. There's one down by Seavey. Rigol now sweeps a hand pass out to Salisic, claimed by Ambrose. Fumble by Chambers and then taken high as he collapsed to the ground. And a free kick to Callum Chambers. He's got the big ruckman. Seavey is going to take yet another mark back near centre half forward. No, he won't. Put the mocker on him. Taps it away from beneath his body. Subiaco end up with it though. Pickett loops a hand pass to Ryan. He can run towards centre half forward. Toya coming out, but he's caught behind Cousins. What's his recovery like? Cousins committed himself and knocked it away. Tapped it on the ground by Toya to Sierakowski. Shoots on an unguarded goal. Subiaco's get one, but you fear it might be too little too late. They get their 7th goal, but it's come at the 13-minute mark, and the margin now 30 points.
Well, very intelligent play by Lukey Toya. Subiaco won the ball very well, and Peter German can only think about what may have been, but great work. Lukey Toya knew the voice, heard the voice of David Sierakowski back there, tapped it back into his direction, and was able to go back and kick his 2nd goal for the afternoon. 1 in the first, and now 1 in the final quarter.
Certainly he's been quite superb today, David Sierakowski. Will it be his last game? Time will tell. Logan's met solidly, but unhurt.
Well, he's certainly going to be as one of the contenders, I would have thought. I don't know whether he'll win the Simpson medal, Phil. We heard earlier that the losing side doesn't necessarily always deliver the medalist, but you'd think somebody like Lacroix, Coops, Seaby, even Brad Murray may be in the chop-up.
Certainly all in the chop-up. Heinl tried to socket the ball out of mid-air. It's read beautifully, though, by Chambers, who's another contender. Delivers the ball so well. Lynch is another contender as well. And sheltered by the 3-tiered grandstand. This is not beyond Quinton Lynch.
Yeah, Troy Longmuir has kicked 5 as well, but as Glenn alluded to, he's got 3 from free kicks, so that may very well take a shine off what is a 5-goal performance to this point of time. But if he kicks another 2 or 3, he may emulate a Todd Ridley of years gone by, winning a Simpson medal, kicking 7 or 8 goals.
5 goals is 5 goals. Quinton Lynch has 1. He kicked his 2nd. Sends it on its way. Oh, he's made no mistake. A powerful kick going through a goalpost high by Quinton Lynch. He has got his 2nd. Well, the West Perth players, you would have to think, like their supporters, could almost start celebrating now, Doro.
Well, I think the supporters are, and I think the players will know full well halfway through this final quarter. Callum Chambers, hasn't done that much today, but a beautiful foot pass once again, acknowledging the lead, and this fella's got to kick it like a mule. And you can see there he's as happy as Larry. Is that signal number 1? We're going to be number 1 because there's certainly...
got 2.
Yes, well, he must have had a short-term memory lapse there, but they're going to be number 1 for season 2003, West Perth.
Murray taken in a tackle by Godden. Players negate each other there. You wonder how many of these Subiaco veterans will line up again in 2004. Names like Godden and Marshall, Ambrose. Sierakowski we know is not. Toya's retired from the AFL, but he said he will play again for Subi. Wooden gave it to Pickett there and had it spent before he truly gathered it. Murray fighting for it on the ground. Rigol met solidly. Sierakowski flat on his back. He's copped a boot from Lacroix.
He's just got to be careful because Maloney started that one initially, and then Lacroix come and wanted to have a retaliate.
He took it out on Syrah. Lacroix's actually copped accidentally in a moment. We didn't see it. The boot of Lacroix just brushed him across the nose as Lacroix was falling over. Hunt turned it over from half back, gets it out towards the wing. Logan into the action again. He's got Murray screaming for it on the boundary line, but Logan's ignored that. That's a very strong mark. He's not an overly strong build. Wiry though. Logan plays on now. Goes up towards McLean. Fisted away back there by Pat. And the ball to be thrown in.
But it shows you how long ago David Subiaco. I played one of my last games of football against him when he was playing with St Kilda. He was 18.
Him old or you?
Him young, me old at the time.
Well, West Perth and Fuster, Todd Curley, Truella and Logan that all played back in 1995 when these teams last met in a grand final. West Perth won it that day. They're going to win it again. This is Lynch coming out, bounces off Keevers, hand pass to Britton. Britton, I think, is going to put it out of bounds on the full, and he does.
It's a terrific coaching effort by Darren Harris. You know, like they did lose last year very, very poorly, and it was interesting in the pre-game. He wasn't having any bad thoughts about what happened last year. That's history.
Hoops flew spectacularly and got into the back of the Subiaco player, so the advantage is applied. Ryan goes looking for Sirakoski, bounced off his shins. Vines is there, fending him off beautifully. There is Lacroix, who really has stood up this afternoon. Short pass has found Seavey, so two contenders for the Simpson medal combining there. Perhaps another one here, Callum Chambers. The ball will bounce out in front of him, getting their first Metropolis. Travis McLean stays up, Metropolis went to the ground, and the ball beats them both over the line.
Seavey's coming off the ground, and Regan Duckworth, I think that's the last time we'll see him, and you can see Darren Harris.
He doesn't look happy, but I think inside almost delirious.
Well, if we fast forward 12 minutes, I think he'll be jumping around with joy, and deservedly so too.
Ambrose trying to knock the ball clear. Eventually he succeeds. Connell, defensive hand pass to Metropolis. Goes out wide to Wooden. Hasn't stopped running Josh Wooden this afternoon. Short one along the line. Connell still running as well. Drives the ball to the half-forward line. Marshall there, but he had a couple to beat. Two of them, Lacroix and Coops, and haven't they combined magnificently. There is the Premiership Cup for 2003, shortly to be held aloft jointly by Steve Truella, the West Perth captain, and their coach, Darren Harris.
The captain is just about to come back onto the ground for this last 10 or so minutes as well.
Throw-in chance here for Vines. Hand pass gathered on the bounce by Pickett. No pressure in front. Goes long from 48, and last year's Sandover medalist goes straight. A goal there to Alastair Pickett. His 35th of the season, his first today. But Subiaco really now just looking to get some pride restored on this scoreboard. The margin 30 points, and we're only a minute away from time on in the last term.
And Kim Regal's come off for the captain to come on, and look, he's tried pretty hard, Alastair Pickett, all afternoon, and that's a very, very good finish from where he was there. Kicked it just inside 50, so 5 goals. They just got to keep on plugging away. Look, stranger things have happened, but I'm not sure it's going to happen today that they're going to kick 5 goals, Subiaco, but they've got to fight it right to the end.
Fuster and Ambrose, the ball came down to Truella. Gets it back to Fuster, hand passing forward of the play to Chambers, attacking relentlessly as Callum Chambers. Squaring kick, pops it up high to Murray, just couldn't keep his balance. Wooden takes advantage of the situation and gives it to Miller. Low pass to Ryan, he slips over, things not happening for Subiaco. Ryan's back in there, but their momentum has been taken from them and the whistle has gone. Well, the red and blue streamers are waving. They've got a bit to go yet, I think. Ambrose falling tidily onto that pack, holding his head there, Robert Hunt. But he won't be feeling pain for too much longer. Fisting it forward, Fuster. Connell read it nicely, but had nowhere to go. Feeds it back to Vines, back to Connell. Now he goes up to the half-forward line. He's got Dane Carmody there. Carmody has spotted Marshall coming across his bows. There was Coops. Marshall's recovery good. Gets it out towards Wooden. The ball just wouldn't sit up nicely for him. Has to backtrack. Now he's being tracked down by Fuster, who got a purchase on him. The hand pass, though, goes to Ryan. Under a lot of pressure. His hand pass into the pocket. Toya has it. Shrugs one, sends the ball high up towards full forward. In fact, it goes across into the pocket. Sirakoski was falling there, couldn't complete the mark, and the umpire will bounce it down at right full forward for Subiaco.
The statistics are very close, Glenn. There's not a lot in the whole game, really. 234 to 236 possessions. West Perth a couple in front.
Subiaco get another late one. Toya shunted off his kick. Ball close to the boundary line. Lacroix's been a star. gathers for West Perth, punts it wide towards the outer side. Salicic takes it out of play. The inside 50s, 44 to 43 in favour of the Falcons, so it shows you how well their defence has stood up.
Well, everything's been so very, very close. Centre breaks 12 apiece, free kicks 28 to Subi, 27 to West Perth.
Ball thrown in, Sierakowski with strength, wins it down, taken in a standing tackle. Carmody, the ball to be tossed aloft. So West Perth only minutes away from winning their 18th premiership. So they'll break the deadlock they currently have with East Perth and move to outright second behind East Fremantle's incredible tally of 29. Lacroix kicks it straight to Sierakowski. He goes to the top of the goal mouth. Players go to ground. Chance here for Marshall, running out of room. With him another number 12 in Coops. Marshall there, creative. Can he go a second time? Gathers and goals. Brilliant individual effort there by Neil Marshall. The gap now reduced to 24 points, but given the fact that Subi have kicked only 9 goals to this point of the game, it's hard to see them kicking another 5 in the next 7 or so minutes. But as John said, stranger things have happened. But here, we're about to see, John, a great solo effort by Neil Marshall.
Oh, look, he's a terrific player. Neil, it seems like he's been around. He just kept the ball alive, as you'll see there on screen. Good enough he was able to get his quick left foot snap before Clayton Lascott was able to intercept that ball. And it's Subia winning the final quarter, 4-1 to 4 goals at this point.
Unfortunately for them, though, it's the first time they've strung consecutive goals since the first 5 minutes of the game. Nikoski's made it tough for himself by slipping over. Hack develops, will have a ball up.
And that may very well be attributed to West Perth just taking their foot off the pedal. As I said, both of them have kicked 4 goals, but there's a bit of slipping and sliding going now there. Mark Nikoski just coming to grief.
Brad Murray coming off the ground. What a great debut season he's had at WAFL level, being replaced by Kim Rigol. The ball thrown in the air as it has been all day. One down by Miller of Subiaco. Maloney taken. Ball held to him. We'll go through it again. This time last year, West Perth were being thumped by the Royals. They completed their hat-trick with a 60-point win on grand final day against West Perth. Sweet revenge today. Chambers seemed to take Maloney high, but the umpire saying he was ducking his head. The Subi skipper kicks to the members' wing. Sierakowski with a couple to beat. Falls over the ball. Fuster over him. The umpire calls for a ball up. No mistaking that young man's allegiance. And he's going to go home happy tonight. So too the 22 he's supporting. Fuster stood his ground, won it down. Carmody a hurried left footer forward, brought to ground by Coops. Chance for Sierakowski. Toyer on a short lead. Sierra will get penalised for holding it. No, yes. Lacroix. Sierakowski just trying to do a little bit too much. Lacroix now flares it across fullback. The mark taken by Todd Curley. Curley goes wider still. The mark to Chambers. West Perth can taste victory. They can scent it in their nostrils. They'll probably just chip it around now, wind the clock down. They lead by 4 goals. Short kick to the outer side, and the mark taken by Salicic. 25 minutes travelled in the grand final. Salicic chips it over the outer wing. Ambrose with arm outstretched. It clears him. Britton the last in line. Hand passes to Duckworth. The fullback's well down the ground. Met solidly by Maloney. Hack slips away from McLean. Kick was touched by Britton. And ricochets then to Reinhardt. Unloads long from 60 metres. Can Longmuir get amongst it again? Fisted away down there by the Subiaco defence. Chance for Miller. Stolen by Longmuir, but he falls over. Chance now for Lynch. Can he ice the cake? He misses from 30 metres out. Misses everything out of bounds on the floor.
He was a bit unfortunate then, the big fella. He just was slipped in his action just as he was going to kick the footy.
Subiaco playing on round the outer side. Wooden touches it down once. Coming out on the lead. Marshall clears him. Cossum loses his footing. Bounces back up. Opportunity here if he can avoid his own teammate, Sierakowski. Well tackled by Lacroix. Gee, he'd have to be a fancy for those that are polling on the Simpson medal. He's played a brilliant game across half-back. A reserve Peter German. I think he realises now that runner-up will be the position that his team will fill at the end of 2003. Sierakowski won it down. Salicic fell over. Lacroix busy again. Gives it off to a teammate, Todd Curley, who's immediately wrapped up by Marshall, and will have a ball up. Last year, West Perth kicked only 5 goals in the grand final, while East Perth kicked 15. Here they are at the moment with a scoreline of 13-9. Another pack develops. I think both sides at the moment just want that final siren to sound. Kim Rigold, the last man to hold the trophy aloft. He's not captain now of West Perth. That's Truella's honour. Pickett not done with yet. Bursts his way through. Hand pass to Carmody. Hand pass on to Cossum. Subi, do they get one? He's missed. And that almost encapsulates Subiaco's afternoon.
Yes, it certainly wasn't to be something that should have been a certainty with no pressure. And he's just sprayed it across the goal face there. And West Perth Simon Duckworth will bring the ball back into play.
Short down the middle. Cousins takes the mark. 23-point margin in favour of the Falcons. Cousins out to the skipper. The umpire saying it wasn't 15 metres. Neither's that according to the umpire. No whistle's been blown.
Play on.
Now Truella's retreated. That will be 15 metres and he'll finally get paid a mark. There's the siren. West Perth have won the 2003 WAFL Premiership. They're 18th. Their first in 4 years. They've won by 23 points. Relief for the Falcons. A job well done. Darren Harris, arms aloft. What a 2 years it's been for him. He was a hero of the club in '95 when these teams last met in the grand final. He was captain. He won the Simpson medal. West Perth won the day. Last year in his debut season as coach, he got them to the grand final. They were humbled by East Perth. No such bad luck second time around for the Falcons.
He's got to hastily make his way down onto the ground now, Darren Harris, because he was up there with his coaching group. And I'm sure there's going to be a big cheer when you see him come right. Here he comes now, running down, and what a deserved winner. He's a terrific captain and player when he played over here for West Perth. And he's wrapped, you can see it in there, he's going to be jumping for joy with his player group once he grabs hold of them. There's a lot of them out there and a lot of the players that he played with, as you'll see, and it means so much for players that do that together.
Well, Brendan Fuster, Todd Gurley, Steve Truella and Brendan Logan all played in that Simpson medal winning performance by their now coach and then captain Darren Harris, and he is a very happy man in the middle of Subiaco Oval. Last year they were really humiliated. A 10-goal loss to East Perth. The juggernaut that were the Royals won 3 in a row this time last year. But Darren Harris, a long 12 months, but for the next 6 months he's going to be the premiership coach in the next season. He's a very happy man. There he is with Glenn Britton. Many of these players have won their second or third premiership medallion. There's a lonely Richard Maloney, the Subiaco skipper, pondering the one that got away. Simon Duckworth, a brilliant game at fullback. Let's go down and hear now from Stephen Coops, one of the stars of the day.
Stephen, congratulations, a great win by West Perth.
Oh, no, it was great. Subi played very well today, so I actually think they have to take some credit out of that. But to all the West Perth boys, I thought we played great today, so it's just a great feeling, mate. It's just a really good feeling. Can't explain it. So.
Mate, you're on fire yourself, especially in the third quarter there. You took some great grabs. But I thought it was super how West Perth used the ball out of their back line rather than just kicking it aimlessly, a little bit like Subi. You guys spotted a target every time.
That was great, actually. I think our back six have heaps of runs. I thought we used that today, and the guys were just fantastic.
I talked to Darren and a few of the boys early. You were pretty confident going into this game, weren't you?
Yeah, no, we were since we lost against them last fortnight. So, it was always going to be a tough game, and and I thought always hard with the conditions as well. So, we're just glad to come off on top, and we're just going to celebrate it. So,
well done, Stephen. Congratulations.
It's a lot, Rod. Thank you.
Terrific performance by Stephen Coops. He only played 13 games this season for the Fremantle Dockers, an injury-riddled start to the year, but I think he'll be back in the purple of the Fremantle club next season. Forlorn-looking Subiaco group, as you'd expect. A disappointing day for the Lions. They did what they could today, but they were outclassed by West Perth. And Steve Truella very soon will take the trophy aloft. He's with Todd Ridley.
Yeah, thanks very much, Glenn. I have Steve Truella with me, 3 times premiership player and about to hold the cup aloft. How do you feel, Stevie?
Oh, yeah, just excited at the moment and really wrapped that the boys went on with it today. It was a terrific game and, yeah, I'm glad we won.
Yeah, obviously the respect the boys have for Darren Harris is immense. You obviously played football with him, as a lot of the players did. And, what does he mean to you?
Harrow's been sensational. He's just such a positive guy and, the way he coaches, he's probably a bit underrated in our league, but, we all know what he's on about in our group and, I'm just wrapped for the little man and it's just great that he can, go one better this year.
And for yourself, your career, is this it? Is this the best way to go out, you think, or have you got another year left in you?
Oh, we'll see what happens. I haven't really waited up yet, but I'll have a chat in the next couple of weeks with Harrow and, we'll see.
Congratulations, Steve. Back to you, boys.
Well, an emotional scene there. Daniel Metropolis with his father, Peter. History wasn't to be repeated. Daniel Metropolis in his final game for Subi. His father played in that drought-breaking premiership for Subiaco. 49 years. They ended the drought in 1973, and now Peter German. He's inconsolable, Daniel Metropolis. The dream didn't become a reality today. Didn't follow his father 30 years down the track. Darren Harris, he'd be all smiles. Let's hear from him now.
Darren, we had a bit of a chat yesterday. You told me about how you looked at the East Perth tape. You said to me they used the skills so well. West Perth were brilliant in that department today.
West Perth were great today, mate. I'm wrapped for the boys. They just fought that hard and they deserve every success they get because they're just a great bunch of citizens and just a great, they just represent the West Perth Footy Club fantastically well.
I listened to your three-quarter time speech. You were so intense, but all the players were just watching what you had to say. You talked about the last 10 seconds of the game.
Yeah, we prepared today to go to the last 10 seconds of the game. That's the way we prepared. We knew that Subi, had the week off, would have had a little bit in their legs. So we just had to make sure that the mindset was go to the wire, go right to that last 10 seconds of the game. And when the siren went, I just wasn't even ready for it. It caught me, and all of a sudden we've won a bloody flag. It was just fantastic.
Your selections going into the side were very good as well. You rotated your midfield pretty much through the bench all day.
Yeah, we had to make sure we had the legs at the end of the game. And, but every bloke was just fantastic today.
And, mate, you sound a little bit hoarse as well there.
Yeah, look, I'm just yeah.
Congratulations, mate. You did really well. OK, well done.
Emotions spilling out on the ground. We'll be back shortly to recap what has happened here today, but let's go out for the presentations and Phil Lamb.
Ladies and gentlemen, the premiers for 2003 West Perth Football Club. What a great grand final. What a great showcase for West Australian football, and what a great stage on which some of our current day champions were able to end their careers this afternoon. Unfortunately, as is the case with all grand finals, there can only be one winner. Please show your appreciation and acknowledgement for the courage and commitment of the Subiaco Football Club this afternoon and for the great season they had. Now to present the Premiership Cup to the winning captain, would you please make welcome West Perth Football Club legend, Mr. Les Fong, to make the presentation of the cup to Steve Truella. Steve, would you come forward, please?
.300 games with the Falcons, and a very special moment for him. The first time as captain for Steve Truella, but the third time he's been in a West Perth premiership team. Darren Harris, a Simpson medal in '95 as captain. Here he is as a winning coach.
Might just take this opportunity to get a few words from obviously a deliriously happy captain, Steve Truella.
Thanks very much. Thanks for everyone for coming out today. Obviously the weather wasn't the best, but we just appreciate it. For the Survey guys, well done on a great year. Great game today, just didn't go your way, but we were sitting over that side of the fence last year, and our blokes, we really worked hard. And, you know, I'm glad we got over the line today and get back to Joondalup tonight. Thank you.
I think we can see that they're pretty eager to celebrate, the West Perth boys. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, would you please make welcome the man who's a legend in West Australian football, whose name is perpetuated by the medal he presents this afternoon. Would you make welcome John Todd to present the John Todd medal and the premiership pennant to the coach of the West Perth Football Club, Darren Harris.
John Todd premierships as a coach at Swans,
Thanks,
East
Phil.
and South Fremantle.
Well, you can see they're pretty excited, and rightly so. The coach of the West Perth team, Darren Harris. Congratulations.
One of the club's favourite sons, and his legend at Arena Joondalup has grown even more significantly this afternoon.
Yeah, just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone out there for your support. To our player group, I mean, 22 got to run around today, but there was another, 25 or 30 blokes that helped us get here with the way they trained and their attitude. So to every one of our 50 players that played this year, credit to all of them for helping us get here today. Special mention, my dad's here today. Good on you, Dad. Bloody beautiful. This is the happiest thing that's ever happened to me, and those blokes there, West Perth supporters, give them 3 cheers. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. The West Perth spirit's alive and well, guys.
Darren, congratulations. I know that nothing is going to give you more pleasure than inviting your team members one by one to come up and receive their premiership medallions from West Perth club legend Les Fong. Take over.
I'll start with the captain, Stephen Truella.
As we said, his 3rd premiership as a player, his first as
Triple
captain.
premiership player.
8 disposals today, and the weather tailor-made for him.
Outstanding game today. Quinton Lynch, the big unit. Dual premiership player Kim Rigol.
He was the captain when they won last in 1999.
Triple premiership player Brendan Fuster.
One of the coach's teammates back in 1995 when they won a flag.
The clumper Travis McLean.
2nd consecutive year he's been the leading goal kicker. He finishes this season with a tally of 58.
From Myrtleford, Brad Murray.
Voted the rising star of the competition leading into the grand final.
Triple premiership player Brendan Logan.
Had a stint on Adelaide's list in the AFL. Didn't crack it for a senior game.
Who's now playing in the right colours, Callum Chambers.
With his 3rd WAFL club, Callum Chambers. Previously East Perth and Claremont.
Longmuir.
A star today with 5 goals.
Simon Duckworth.
Earlier this season, the state fullback, he lived up to it again today.
And how good was this bloke today, Stephen Coops?
As we said, 13 games in the AFL this season, more to come next year on today's form.
Brent Reinhardt.
A young man from Albury in New South Wales.
Regan Duckworth.
Regan Duckworth used on and off the bench.
Jason Salisic.
Game number 21 and a premiership for Salisic.
Robert Hunt. The big kid who came along and had a great final series, Kepler Bradley.
Surely Kepler Bradley will be very high in this year's AFL
Glenn
draft.
Britton. The big bloke that we look forward to watching a lot of on the tally in the future, Mark Seavey.
No doubt about it. One of the favourites for the Simpson medal today. He'll play AFL footy next year with the Eagles.
Clayton Lascott.
Spent 2 years on the Kangaroos list.
What a game this bloke had today. Stood up Brent LaCroix.
Another favourite for the Sandover, for the Simpson, brilliant across half-back.
And oldest, have to yell out the oldest bloke's name, last outstanding today, Todd Curley.
Bringing the trophy with him, 116-game veteran in the AFL with the Western Bulldogs.
And to all my coaching staff, Gavin Bell, Jeff Valentine, Lloyd Page, Wosley, Big Wazza and Johnny Dimmer, thank you very much, guys. Thanks very much, Darren. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 48th grand final in which the Simpson Medal has been awarded to the best player afield. And to continue this enduring tradition, would you please make welcome Mr. Paul Simpson to award the Simpson Medal to the 2003 Simpson medalist.
Commiserations to Subiaco. They had a wonderful year, just bad luck they didn't do it today. West Perth had an even better one now, and it gives me great pleasure in handing over the Simpson Medal for this year to Brent Lacroix.
Brilliant game across half-back. 18 kicks, 6 handballs, 7 marks, and he becomes the 10th West Perth player to win the Simpson Medal, given for the last 48 years for best of field in the grand final.
I'd just like to thank all my teammates, coaching staff, everyone at the club, my family, and everyone. Thanks. It's a real honour. Thanks.
Well done, Brent. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the football. We look forward to seeing you again next year. Please remember to belt up before you drive home. But before you go, please congratulate the Colts premiers for 2003, the South Fremantle Football Club, the Reserves premiers, Subiaco Football Club, and once again, as they enjoy their lap of honour, would you please congratulate the 2003 WAFL League premiers, the West Perth Football Club.
Already the champagne tastes sweet from the Premiership Cup. Kepler Bradley may have a big few months ahead of him, as we said. You'd think he'll be drafted by an AFL club in the next few weeks. He's down on the ground now with Rod Willett.
We just lost Brent Lacroix just there as his players come up and grabbed him. But Brent, fantastic work, mate. When you won that, I think you were more surprised than anyone else.
Yeah, no, it was a real good game, and I don't know, I've just lost my words.
Mate, you played extremely well. You're the rocket Gibraltar there at centre-half back. You look like you're enjoying the footy out there.
Yeah, no, it's real good down back. We've got a good mix, and now we've got a flag, so it's great.
Righto, mate, you better jump in or you miss out on that photo.
The photo which will probably be on the back page of tomorrow's West Australian newspaper in Perth. The Falcons premiers for 2003. And they'll celebrate long into the night at their home ground, Arena Joondalup, out in the northern suburbs of Perth. Terrific performance by the Falcons. A year is a long time in football. They were here this time last year, but beaten by 10 goals by East Perth. And today they've run out winners by 23 points. The trophy and the flag about to be taken on a ceremonial lap of honour here at Subiaco Oval. Well, John, a polished performance by the Falcons. They led at every change. And apart from the first 5 minutes of the game and in time on in the last term, they never allowed Subiaco today to kick consecutive goals.
No, they did a wonderful job, West Perth, and look, they're deserving premiers. It's, I suppose it's ironic. I wonder whether it's a sign to next week's AFL game, but they learnt and they lost the hard way last year, so it gave them a steely resolve this year. And the playing group certainly was improved by a couple of players, but their work rate, they really did play as a team, and that's a credit to Darren Harris and his coaching staff, and also to the playing group that are able to carry out and play that brand of football.
Brent Lacroix, the Simpson medalist, cradling the trophy at the moment. A few players could have taken the Simpson, but there would be no argument with the man who was given it to.
No, look, he had an outstanding game, and I suppose we sat there thinking it towards the end, like Stephen Coops had a terrific game, Mark Seavey did as well, but for 4 quarters he was terrific. And look, he's been touted as somebody who, at 21 years of age, he comes from Cervantes, so all the people up in Cervantes would be wrapped with his performance today. But he's a player that may very well get drafted. He's 6'3". He's probably got a little bit of filling out maybe at the next level, but I wouldn't put it beyond him maybe playing at that level.
West Perth fans staying here at the moment, of course, and applauding their troops, their charges, as they make a long, slow jog around Subiaco Oval. There's no doubt, John, that you and I follow the WAFL every week. We go to the various grounds. West Perth would have to have one of, if not the most passionate core supporter group in the competition.
Yes, well, I suppose they'll all buy a tape of this one. So what we'll say when we do go up to Arena Joondalup, there's that, I suppose there's 12 or 15 people that sit with their banners and flags, and they are very, very passionate about West Perth. But the good thing about it is they support their club through thick and thin, and this is what they come and support their footy club for, because you just can't believe what premierships mean to the supporters that are there through the good times and also the bad times. And those same people would have been here this time last year. They would have been very, very disappointed, but they would have given terrific support to the boys when they went back last year. I can guarantee you one thing, they're going to be up there in full force tonight.